Hi everyone, it's me, Danielle. Look at what I got. Do you think that I lost the plot yet? I actually I had a little bit of a story to talk about with this. I was tattooing somebody and they found a couple of these hoods. And I remember buying my daughter really cheap ones when she was a kid. They've got like pockets, so you could have like something to keep your head warm and somewhere to put your hands to stay warm in the winter. Um, but anyways, these ones are really nice, and they're made in Los Angeles, and they go for $150 each. They're called Spirit hoods. They're really nice quality, and they even have like little zipper pockets. I'm not sure what they make them for necessarily. I was thinking possibly people, are wearing them to raves. But what I was thinking, because I felt drawn to purchase these from my customer, was that I want to connect better with animal spirit, right? I mean, I've taken two courses in animal communication, and I always see spirit animals, and I think animals have medicine for us, as I learned from Dr. Gale. And so I've done more, I would say. I've done more to try to further my mediumship abilities than buy a couple of hoodies. And now, of course, I've been like watching my YouTubes, with Danny Shea and Dr. Gale, and like wearing my little hood and looking like I'm a crazy person, but they're really comfortable and warm. So, I'll leave it up to you about whether I've lost the plot or not. But I keep hearing different psychics on YouTube talking about, how fear lowers our vibration, keeps us a bit stuck, and that basically the opposite of that would be finding joy. And so I don't think that it's losing the plot to do something that you feel called to, that brings you joy, that makes you laugh, that adds lightness to your life. We do a lot of fires outside. I have a deck and I've got a little fire pit, and I can see some of my friends and I wearing these outside to stay warm and, connecting to animal spirit. I have a lot of coyotes around here. I think I bought a coyote hood, and there is a bear that has been around my house lately. So I did buy a black, I think this one is the gray wolf. I've got a black wolf one. Anyway, enough about the hoodies. I just had a session this week, a different kind of healing modality that I've not tried before. And it got me thinking about all the different people that I've worked with. And maybe people are always asking me, what shaman I go to and stuff. So I'm going to go through my list, which I made, and I'll put links so that you can find these healers and shamans and see if you want to work with them yourself. But anyways, I just had a session with Alicia at Master of Many Moons, and she does something, it's called like a soul level healing. And so it was interesting. You kind of relax and you go into a bit of a meditative state. I was kind of hoping I'd get to see and hear everything that she was doing. I saw her, I could see her and I could hear her, but I couldn't hear. What I really wanted to hear was my own soul. But, apparently my soul had a lot to share, things that I don't have any memories about. And so, I'm listening to what's happening, but apparently this is what my soul said to her, that I was banished from some planet or star system because there was something like a plague happening, and I volunteered to sacrifice myself to save the whole planet. And, it didn't work. It didn't save the planet. I mean, I don't know that the planet was completely decimated because I went down in history as being a failure who like didn't sacrifice myself right or something because it didn't work. And so my soul needed healing in the heart area about this, about feeling like, you know, I wasn't good at it, or I was a failure, something like that. Now I didn't resonate with that. Like I don't have memories of it in this life. And um, I don't feel like I've got this complex that's kind of built in where I'm like not good at things. I thought I've been doing pretty good, but who knows what the soul feels. So that was interesting. We also worked on my clair audience, and I had a feeling that it was me putting the blocks on myself. And and I didn't know why, but what she said was that I've had lives where I heard too much and I was too sensitive, and I would literally bleed out of my ears. And I have ended up in mental hospitals or insane hospitals because of hearing things. Obviously, people think, that is a sign of mental health problems. And I know a lot of psychics have had this issue as well. So, anyways, we did a clearing and cleaning of this area on the soul level. And she had a talk about maybe me not hearing the astral, which is kind of the lower vibration, and just hearing in the fifth density and higher. So we'll see about that. I do know that because if I'm blocking myself from hearing, I'm blocking myself from myself, my own higher self, and that is not what I want. That is not what I want at all. So it felt weird because um, my ears felt like, when you use those wax candles to clear out your ear, it felt like that, like afterwards, like it felt really clear. And I have had some words that like just pop into my head. It's not necessarily hearing though. It is different, but it is definitely not words that are coming from my own mind and my own ego. So I'm excited to continue to open that up. Um, and I'll put a link for Alicia's website in the video description. Uh, my main person that I get healing from and learn so much from is Michael Shaman. He has a website called, I think it's My Light Center, but I'll put a link to that. I've been seeing him for 4 years, and what he does is he clears traumas from your chakras, and he helps heal and then integrate some of your past lives into you. And that has been really effective. Although what I've noticed is that what he heals is what is affecting you right now. You know what I mean? It might not be the bigger picture as far as like, on a soul level, or it is basically what is affecting your life currently. It's very current events. But it's very helpful, and I've learned so much from him. So I do recommend that. But I like working with and trying modalities from lots of different people because they all do different stuff. I had a session with Lorelei Drock. She does this interesting thing where she pulls in all your times, all your lives, and integrates them, asks them to integrate with you currently instead of one at a time, like Michael Shaman has done. That was interesting. I was very tired. I had to drink a lot of water. I was going to bed at 5 p.m. and it was like 2 weeks period of time integrating. Some of these lifetimes are higher vibration than what my body could handle. And so even though the intention and everything was there to integrate, things don't fully integrate until you are a matching higher vibration. So even though it felt like I was integrating for 2 weeks, I would say I still was seeing Michael and things were not fully integrated, especially the higher vibrational like ET ones. Those ones, they probably took 2 years to fully integrate with. I've had sessions with Meike Sallge. I don't know if she's got a website of her own. I know I'm friends with her on Facebook. I'll spell her name anyways, so you guys can search for her and find her if you want. She does these really cool healings. I hired her to do a healing for my mom, but I have worked with her and we did a healing for the planet in general, and that was so cool. Like she saw these valves and she pulled the valve, and since I was in the healing circle with her, and we actually called in Michael Shaman to help us, we felt this like pressure running through our energy core, and I knew that we just had to ground in and release this pressure for the planet. So that was interesting, and I hope that that was really helpful. Mother Nature, the planet, by the way, had a sense of humor, and she was pretty sassy. Mother Nature came as well to that session, and she's real. The planet has a consciousness that is real, and so does Mother Nature, and they both would like respect. Was the bottom line on that. I hired Julie Ryan. She's got a podcast, I believe, a YouTube channel called Ask Julie Ryan. Again, I'll put the links in the comments or the description. She does a psychic surgery, basically. It was really interesting. I had her treat my mom, and I had her treat my daughter. So my daughter actually felt the session. Julie also was able to give, because at the time my mom was dealing with cancer, and she was, able to basically say, she said what was going to happen. They were going to do the surgery. There was going to be this days after the surgery that were going to be a bit rough, but my mom was going to be okay, and all that. So it was nice when things did get rough, because she was accurate, to know that that in the end my mom would be okay, and she is okay. I hired Mary Rodwell for a private session. She is the alien lady of Australia. She's in documentaries. She's wonderful, and she's a psychologist, I believe. She does hypnotherapy, and but she has a medical background, and she helps you connect to your spirit guides. So many people ask me, about this, about how to connect with spirit guides. She's a great one to book in with. I believe her session was $200. I would say that all these people are worth every penny, to work with, and working in all these different modalities. They all are doing something completely different. I didn't end up going with hypnotherapy with Mary Rodwell. I did a private meditation that she tailored for me. And I want to say that, it was over Zoom. So she's in Australia, but she can work with anyone. I want to say that the meditation was about 30 minutes, and it was about clearing all the blocks to connect better to my guides. And she gives you a recording of it. And so that's nice, because you can listen to it again and continue to remove blocks. But the last hour and a half of that session with her was a lesson on how my guides communicate with me. And invaluable, so invaluable. I highly recommend that. I hired Laura and Michelle Marko. They're in Tennessee, and they had lived here in town, so I saw them in person. I'm friends with them on Facebook. I don't know if they have a website, but I will still put their names. I took my mom and my daughter to a session with them, and we did a 3-generational sort of ancestral clearing. So that was really great. I had a private session with Lily Nova. We traded. I did her spirit guide art, and she did a session with me. What she saw was interesting because she saw that this blonde man was coming into my life, and she said he was very Palladian looking, and that's it was confusing for me at the time because I can see who's coming into my life, and it doesn't look like that, right? So I thought she was talking about somebody physically in my 3D life, like a romantic connection or something. But it turned out to be Archangel Raphael. So that was my blonde Pleiadian looking man. And he did, and he merged energy with me. And so she was right. Um, I've had many shamanic journeys with Danny Shea. Um, his are really great. We go to like lower, middle, and higher planes. We get messages from the animal world, from the Lemurians, whatever, it's really, really interesting. Um, I've actually heard a couple of times on his journeys. So that was interesting. I did hear when I was hanging out with mermaids one time. Um, and they were really funny, but it was sad because they were I was supposed to give the mermaids a gift, and I thought I'd be funny, and I gave them a fork, like from the Little Mermaid where she uses it like a comb to brush her hair. And they called it a dingle hopper. And the mermaids gave me a plastic fork and let me know that the oceans are too polluted. So it's not funny, but it was funny because it was the whole interaction. So the message from them was about, hey, we need to clean up our oceans. And we do. Um, and that was just one of many. I had gone out of body on one of his shamanic journeys, and it was supposed to meet. I was supposed to meet with a higher aspect of myself, and I came across Albert Einstein, and he told me that I was smart enough to figure it out on my own. And my questions were about my business, like, and kind of like whether it was going to make it or not at the time. And so Einstein was saying I was smart enough to figure it out on my own. And I have made a bunch of changes, and I think things are looking up. I think he's right. But I heard him. It was like I heard him. So, he ended up coming to one of my shaman sessions with Michael, and he did a healing for me for my a head injury I had that was one of my issues with hearing. So it turns out that Einstein and I, the reason why I could hear him is because we are of the similar vibration. We come from the same order, I guess you would say. Um, he said that he was connected. He was a direct conduit of the Great Central Sun. I know that I'm directly connected as well. I'm sure we all are, but that connection is very big. So it's about like opening up and being a conduit, right? Um, Kim Copeland, I didn't really get a session with her, but she did a quick energy treatment, I would say, when I was just struggling with my Kundalini awakening. When I had gone through the Kundalini awakening and it had gone all the way through, the energy was too big for my body at the time, and my heart stopped and I couldn't breathe. I could see really well though. I wasn't actually that worried about it. But my guides had to back off on the energy, and I spent a week struggling with this Kundalini thing. Like, it was right here and it needed to go through the crown, but it was too much. So I had to allow a smaller amount to to go through and then grow it more gradually. But she was there, and she was the one who helped me open up this top crown. Um, and she was the one who said dragon energy, angel energy, fairies, like all of it, which is true. They all work with me. Um, so that was cool, but I have taken lessons with her. So I didn't have a lot of like treatment from her, but I did take a couple of days of lessons, like mediumship lessons, and I learned a lot from her. At the time, I didn't know what it was that I was seeing. But apparently, I just naturally see guides. I see the guides, and I see the animal spirits too, the spirit animals, sorry, for people. I see what's on your team. I just connect right away to that. And so I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time during my lessons with her, but now I know. And I think that those lessons with her were really helpful and moved me along, quickly. Another person was Rosa Grusty. She is an animal communicator, and I took two classes with her. So I'm certified as an advanced animal communicator with her. And again, I don't see and hear everything like everyone else. Like, um, I've had to learn that I can communicate with the animals. Basically, they nod or shake their head, but they show me things. They'll show me a movie. I remember in the class, I connected with another classmate's cat in spirit, and the movie I saw was a tattoo that I didn't know it, but this girl was considering getting a tattoo of a cat, and it was for this cat. So the cat was aware of what was going on, and appreciative and loving, that they were going to be honored in this way. So animals, they do communicate in similar ways that the guides do with me, as far as they can show me little kind of movie clips and images and things. Now I have to interpret them because I don't hear still, but I am learning to interpret the energy and get the information still. So I will put links to all of these people in the video description. I also have had a lot of help with my spiritual growth from my guides, ETs, and angels. I've had the Kundalini awakening. I started receiving downloads. One of the downloads caused an ego death for me. I've had beings merge energy with me. Merlin. I've had other kind of interesting gods, the peacock god, Tawusi Malek. I mean, he didn't stay, he was there temporarily, but a couple of archangels have merged with me, and I don't think that that is temporary, because I saw this thing that they did with me that was, it looked like our energies are merged, and so they work with me, and that was amazing. I've had light body activations. I've had reboots from archangels. My physical light body has been activated, like crystalline light body activations, and all sorts of stuff, like help from the other side, basically. And they've all sort of progressed me along in my abilities. I had this interesting experience where I was tattooing somebody, and they read online that I do this spirit guide work. And so she was like, "Oh, are you going to do a reading for me while you tattoo me?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I go into a meditation to see your guides, but I do get information from the water that I'm working with." And so she goes, "Oh, well, what are you seeing?" And I saw, now let me try to remember. I saw mushrooms, and I saw a raven. And she said, "Oh, I'm texting with a girl, and she's very connected with the raven, and she actually grows mushrooms," which I started doing recently too. So she thought that was interesting, but I guess she texted the girl telling her that I saw this. And at the time, like, she was putting away some Christmas decorations. And at that exact moment that she received the text, she was holding a decoration that was a mushroom. So that was interesting. I also saw a hummingbird. So I think that a hummingbird is on my client's spirit animal team. But I didn't see it in the water, but I just knew she was going to have something related to snails on her team. So I will actually, sorry, I had to open the JPEG. Um, I asked my daughter to have a look and see what was on her team, and she said there was this thing that was related to a slug. And she looked it up on her phone, and it was this, I don't know if I can make it bigger. Let me do this. I'm messing around right now while filming. But it was this creature here. Now, these are a sea slug called a blue sea dragon, and they're venomous. But look at how cool this is. Like, how amazing is it that we live on a planet that has creatures like this? And this isn't fantasy. This is real, a real live animal. But anyways, I saw that this was on her spirit animal team. Or I mean, my daughter saw that this was on her spirit animal team. And so I just wanted to share that. I do get some information from people while I'm tattooing them. I did some spirit guide art. I'm gonna put my meditation on right now, and I'll timestamp it so you can skip ahead to the end drawing if you like to see that. And there was a couple of beings that I saw that I can share about, but I drew one, and the other one I can share because it was kind of featured in a movie. But anyways, I think, importantly, we need to find our joy, do things that make us happy, lighten up, and raise our vibration. And if that means being silly, then that's what that means. All right, see you at the end of the meditation. I ask my guides to help me connect to the guides of my client. I'm seeing a dog right away. Are you a dog? Or are you another kind of animal? I thought I saw a dog nose. Let me see you clearer. Are you a dog, or is that a pig nose? Are you a piglet? Dog? You have big ears? Dark around the nose and lighter around, and big triangular ears. And a cat? Is there also a cat? Hi, cat. Are you happy? Are you with your human still? Man, there's like a lot of animals. Are you another dog? So lots of dogs and cats and animals. I wonder if my client works with animals or has had a lot of animals. It's interesting. Seeing like a third dog, fourth dog. This one's got longer face hair. There's a dog here too, very loud one. Okay, do any guides want to come forward? I'm seeing a shape, and it's got like a big round head and small eyes at the bottom. I mean, there's a purpley color. It's switching in with like magentas and blues a little bit. It seems to be colors I see often. Maybe that's just me. So now it's shifting into a magenta. Am I seeing a guide for my client? Can I see you better, please? Visibility. Now I'm in the reds and magenta colors. Are you her main guide? Hello. I can barely see you. Green for yes. Are you a guide? Green. Visibility was not good. So I was just making sure that it wasn't hiding from me, which means it would not have been a guide. Does my client have any attachments blocking me? I'm seeing something green, so I'm just like trying to see. Are you a guide? I could tell you're an ET species, but I can't tell exactly too much what you look like. Insectoid? Yeah. Are you a mantis? Or something different? Are you small? Yeah. Are you from the like more like a elemental or a nature being? No. You're an ET. Are you her main guide? What was that red one? Was that a guide? Purpley reds are coming back. So maybe the reddish cloud, is that the guide? Or is that the aura? Do you have a form that I could see better? All right, any more guides that want to come forward that are maybe more visible? I couldn't see that one with the red. Are you a third guide? Or are you a spirit animal? You a spirit animal? Reminding me a lot of, are you a hippopotamus? Hippo? Any other guides want to come forward for my client? so I can give her a full report. I'm seeing a blue color, kind of green, blue color, turquoise. And a face, smiling, with curly hair. Is that a fairy? Young, look, the face looked young. Green, blue. Are you a guide? It's like a feline. Is there also a feline ET in pinks? Like a Lyran? Is there anything that you want me to relay? Any of you want me to relay to her? Is there any attachments? Some sort of water being. What is that? Are you a guide? Are you a dragon? Are you a water dragon? Man, this one is just a bunch of guessing. Can I see you better? Because you're looking like a dragon to me. Are you an elemental? You are looking kind of like, I don't know, you're shaping, you're amorphous almost. Are you a guide of hers? I'm just seeing it just seems like dark, but watery. I'm gonna have to ask my pendulum and clarify things maybe with my daughter that I've seen. Thank you so much, guides, for what you have shown me. Is there anyone else? There was a lot here. Okay. Okay, so that was crazy. I saw, I think, 5 of my clients' guides, and there was many animals in spirit, but also, uh, how many other animals? Oh, I saw a pig, a hippo. Yeah, lots of dogs and a cat in spirit. Um, So the interesting thing I felt, because normally I see about 3 spirit guides. This time I think I saw 5. 5. Now I don't know how many guides we have. I don't think that it's a uniform number. For example, like I think I've got 6 or 7. I just don't remember. But I will tell you that I drew her main guide, and it was very different looking. This might be a little dark to see. it was hard to see. If you watch the meditation, then you'll see that I had struggled with visibility. This being, it is from a water planet, and it kind of moves like a crab and has like, the arms and legs kind of like a crab. Uh, so I wasn't able to draw it in super high detail, but and to be honest, what popped into my head was the, is it called a xenomorph? The aliens that are in the Sigourney Weaver movie, although those things were not nice, but just the way that the head is like long like that and kind of got these like ridges on the side. I know that the one in the Alien movie has some sort of, you know, details. The other guide I saw was small, and at first it was looking like a mantis to me, but then the nose part looked a little bit kind of like a lizard. So it was some sort of like between an insect and um, a lizard. Okay, reptile. The fairy uh, reminded me of Peter Pan with dark curly hair, and his skin was a grayish blue, and he had a pointy nose, just to clarify. I've seen Lyrans before and same color aura, and I have shown it in another video, but this was what the last guide looked like. Now, the movie The Abyss is from 1989. It stars Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. I haven't watched this recently, but I do remember it from back in high school. And these people, they took a submarine type thing down into this big giant hole in the ocean, and there was this sentient amorphous watery being that shapeshifted. I'm going to show this, how it like, this is stills from the movie, how it uh sort of tentacled out of the water, this hole that they had in the bottom of their submarine thing, and it did cutesy things like shapeshifted into a face and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I don't know that much about this being. It's also from a water planet, possibly the same planet that the first guide is from. What I found interesting was that she had quite a few guides that I've never seen before. Not that that's completely unusual, but a lot of people have incarnated who have a life as a mantis, a Lyran, Arcturian. I see a lot of that. These ones I've not seen before, and she had multiples of them. I asked how she would feel her main guide, and I felt that gagging feeling that uh, I get when I channel, something's trying to channel through me. So I was getting the feeling that she channels this being. And when I asked how she feels that watery one, um, it normally I feel chills and goosebumps on the arms. This one I felt like she channels it through her hands, and then she confirmed that she is a hands-on healer. So I believe that this amorphous, I mean, I don't think it's made of water. I, you know, as much as it's not, it's amorphous, so you wouldn't say like, oh, it's, it's physical or non-physical. I think it is physical. I just think that it's physically amorphous, like a gel. I don't know. It's a consciousness. I know that. Um, and it was shape-shifting so much that my brain, when I see something shape-shifting a lot, like a lot, I automatically jump to dragon, because dragons are very hard to see because they are such shapeshifters that if I say, "Are you a dragon?" it will lock in on the dragon form and I'll be able to see it. But it didn't do that. So I could tell it wasn't a dragon, even though I kept kind of asking and going there. Um, but I got that information. So just interesting, because I do think that this particular client, she is from somewhere further out that is not had a lot of people incarnating from there as well yet. So maybe I'll see more. I think the really cool thing is I'm getting hired to connect to people's guides, and it's giving me experience like I've connected with many dragons. Okay. So I know when, what to, how to deal with them because I am dragon lineage, but they can be hard to see. So as I'm connecting to more beings from outside our system, outside, you know what I mean, further out, it just is going to give me that experience of connecting more to more of them, and I do appreciate that. It's like I get a lesson with every new connection. So I am so appreciative that I get hired to do this. I I love learning and I love experiencing new things. And so I just want to thank anyone who's hired me. And I'll be posting. I've got 3 new ones I've got to draw now. So I'm a little starting to get backed up, but that's not that much. That's not like, oh, Anna True. I follow her. She's a great spirit guide artist, and I know she's got a couple of month waiting list. And I can see why, because these do take a lot of time. The connection and then the artwork, it takes time. So I just want to thank anyone who watched this, and I'll upload something again maybe in a week. All right. Have a beautiful week, everyone.